afternoon, everyone. Welcome to round 7 of the ESR GT Challenge 2016. I am your host, Cole McCray, and we're joined as always by wonderful special Justin Swan. Say hello, Justin.
Hello.
Hello. As seen before, we are at Donington Park Circuit this week, and it is going to be quite the race. We have a little bit less people here than usual, but let's get right into it. We have only 18 people, but that is all right. We've had a little break since our last race at Silverstone, and I think we are setting up perfectly for a wonderful race. We are just beginning the actual qualifying now. We got just a couple of minutes to go before the qualifying race starts. Will you be leaving us before then, Justin, for driver's briefing?
Nope, we have the driver's briefing at the end of practice. This one's pretty cut and dry, small field, so it's a little bit easier to handle that kind of stuff, get it out of the way quickly.
Yeah, absolutely.
More or less, though, the field is short because when setting scheduling, we did not realize the date of the Euro finals for soccer. So we're missing some UK people, we are missing some Italian people, because that's the teams in the finals. And then also, unfortunately, we had some more casualties in terms of equipment. Brandon Baker, he had to send his rig to Fanatec for some replacement parts, and I want to say someone else is Barker or Butler. You know, I can't get them right.
Me either.
Both of them are missing. I think one of them is watching the game and one of them is on vacation or coming back from vacation or moved or something of that. So unfortunately, we've got a little bit of a perfect storm here, which is causing quite a few drivers to have sent me messages ahead of time letting me know that they would be missing this race. That's all right, though. A little bit of a short field on a short track, or I should say a skinny track. It's not a short track, it's very narrow, though.
Yeah, just a little narrow, but still could be fun. It's got some quite good variety in here. And this could be very interesting. What with the scheduling, we could see a number of jumps and swaps in the standings with this race. So I suppose we'll just have to see how that plays out.
Oh, absolutely. I'm excited to see where this goes. I think we'll have a nice, steady field.
Let's just get into the drive view. Get our info up. Mayhaps a little camera action. We got the race starting, so drivers are preparing their final last corners on the formation lap. A little safety lap action as usual. As usual, this will be a 20-minute qualifying race, as in preparation for the actual race, which will be taking place just immediately after, following a short cooldown period while we prep the qualifying order. And watching our stream, unfortunately, in the last race at Silverstone, we had some errors. It was very choppy. I'm not seeing any of that watching on my second monitor now. So I think we should be good to go.
So far, so good. And they're coming to the line here.
Coming to the line. Green flags will come soon.
Moment now.
Spence is killing me, as always. There we go. Green flags, green flags. Got John Aldian, the BMW leading Andrew Burke in the Ferrari. We're getting a good view of Chris Stevenson shortly behind. There are 3 wide. Looks like 2 Lamborghinis, John Arce and Dave Nelson. Maybe Jean-Luc Deluca in between them. Actually, looks to be Matt Higgs. Looks like Higgs has jumped a couple of spots in the start. Also some action with Albert Arjona behind.
Josh McLaughlin takes to the grass, as well as, oh boy, huge accident between the Italian and Archie.
Oh yeah, look at that. It's like
Big
maybe
cleanup there.
Can't exactly tell who that is. Looks like maybe a Lamborghini as well. Might be
Both
Nelson.
Lamborghinis, Nelson and Archie. They were looking mighty racy this week, so that's never a good start. Looks like what happened there was the Ferrari of DeLuca took to the grass and missed a point or two, cut across and cleaned up
Let's
shop.
have a quick replay. Maybe not so much.
Very
yeah, we're not getting too much out of this replay, unfortunately.
I think Bayless is to the rear of the field. The Lamborghinis are at the rear of the field. Castano's at the rear of the field. Looks like Albert Arjona is gone. No, not. Who is that?
I'm not entirely sure.
Oh, that's Bilotti. Sorry, I saw the gray. That's Bilotti rejoining the track. So we've had some carnage here. This is the first time that ESR is headed here on a Sunday. And it looks like they're having trouble. Well, good news is it's just a qualifying race. there's
There's
still
bigger
plenty
fish
more
to
to be
fry.
had. Exactly. They've got an overnight stay to get these cars back up in tip-top shape.
And luckily, we can skip that overnight break with the ESR's proprietary time skip technology. You won't find this anywhere else, folks. We just to get you as close to the action as possible without while having to watch them all sleep. Looks like we got Arthur Bellotti has fallen back to 18th place after that lap one carnage. Not to say it's necessarily his fault, but that just happens. Luckily, there are worse things that could happen. He's got his left turn signal. I'm not entirely sure what's going on there. Um,
On a
and this
lighter
won't.
note, Chris Stevenson takes second place off of Andrew Burke. Andrew Burke's dropping like a stone after that. He got railroaded on the outside. And, Chris Stevenson's a local to this track. He lives just outside the perimeter, outside the facilities. So he really wants to show his prowess and know-how on this track in action.
Not to say that he necessarily has a home field advantage, but he does have the pressure to make that result happen. Looks like we got, I believe, Eugenie going around the inside of Burke as well. Makes that pass go very well around the Melbourne hairpin, if I remember correctly. Looks like a Porsche. All right, sorry. Yeah, it looks like Arjona got a worst of an incident. Oh, and it got really sketchy coming onto the final straight. Matt Higgs and Sean Kenny are still holding on. They're currently side by side going through the start-finish straight. Meanwhile, behind Durazio is battling with Josh McLaughlin, who hasn't been seen in this series in a minute because he had to skip last race at Silverstone. Max Simmons also showing up putting up a good showing, I should say. So this is a pretty balanced track as far as car choice goes. A lot of high-speed corners, but only a couple of moderate length straights, so should be more or less balanced. Maybe it's skewed a little bit towards the handling cars, but especially since the straight is intercut with a pretty hefty S curve section. Looks like McLaughlin cut a little bit of the back section. And looks like we got the number 442 of David Nelson spun again in turn 8. Josh McLaughlin is being hounded by a Lamborghini. I believe that might be Archie. Trying to put the hurt on Durazio as they go through the S's. Gianluca De Luca, excuse me, now getting a drive-through penalty. It looked like for track cutting penalties. De Luca is also under fire from Andrew Burke and a fellow Ferrari who has continued to fall since the beginning of this qualifying race. With that penalty, Gianluca tries to get in, but misestimates the pit entrance, hits the inner wall. That is going to be pretty devastating. It looked like a hard hit. He's
Yeah, it's
going through
probably going to
the
be his qualification race here, but that's all right.
yeah,
He can sit back. He can watch the Euro finals while he waits.
yeah. I'm not sure what he's doing. Looks like he's stopping. Yeah, I think that's going to be retirement from this race. I think he's kind of realized the direness of his situation. Chris Stevenson under heavy fire from Dominic Turcotte. Looks like Chris got a wild out of, I believe that's turn 3, and ends up hitting the inside tire barrier. That was an extremely delayed maneuver. I almost want to call that and Matt Higgs is trying to get around him as well. That was a really interesting cut. Wow, not entirely sure what was going on there. Maybe Chris Stevenson just not able to regain control as well. He looks like he put a little bit of a stop to Sean Kenny, although maybe only a second or so.
It looks like he got a little bit of a bump and run into the corner, and his car was under control. He hit the curbing, and it looks like he clipped just the outside edge of the grass there and sent him uh, tail over face into the wall.
Yeah, that checks out. And now he's actually holding up Andrew Burke behind. I'm not entirely sure how that's the case. Maybe Burke is harboring a little bit of damage that we didn't see from earlier. You would expect Burke to be able to, well, I suppose it's possible that Stevenson's BMW was able to shrug off that hit from the wall. I forget, does ACC handle wall collisions with, whoa! Stevenson going straight off the track. Not entirely sure what happened there. I might need to get a little replay of that.
He might have some heavy damage from that
Might
contact with the wall, and
might
he
have
might
some
not be able to
braking
get it
issues. Yeah.
stopped. Yeah.
So we
Just
see
means he's
him
gonna have
coming.
some more dramatic racing for the main race coming up just after this.
It's certainly possible. Oh, he caught an edge. Oh wow, that was he actually ended up corralling it. Not too much damage there. Well, no damage, but to his time, I should say. That was actually a really well controlled slide. So now we're on board with Dominic Turcotte, who continues to fight with Javier Eugeni. We flip back to Josh McLaughlin. Continue to watch Turcotte for a bit. So Eugeni has not given Turcotte an inch since their battle with Stevenson kind of came to a close. Interesting, the Beamers are kind of, I won't say running away, but they're very competitive in this track, which is not something I would have anticipated.
Well, oh, and it looks like Bilotti has another self spin coming out of the final corner. Seems to be having a lot of trouble.
He's currently sitting on the track, and
And it looks like
he
he's
gets
gonna
a tow.
retire for the qualification race. Perhaps that car had some suspension damage.
It's definitely possible.
Well, hopefully this is first race jitters, and the drivers will get this out of their system for the main race following this immediately.
It's de-
That's all I can imagine it is just some kind of post race jitters or first race jitters here.
well, it's possible. There's some motivation to push in this first race. Because it could affect the second race, but B, because there's no direct points advantage to this race aside from maybe is there one to qualifying first? I imagine be
So
sitting
for
on the
the
pole.
10-minute qualifying, pole gets points for pole position, but for this, the top 10 payout points from 10th, 10 points for first, back to 1 point for 10th.
Oh, okay. So then there is some motivation to hold on to the race. Looks like they're
Yeah,
catching.
there is
Durazio's
some.
catching up to Nelson. So that was all I had to say there.
No, I mean it is. That's basically what it is. There's some motivation to keep the points rather than go for broke.
Andrew
It looks
Burke
like
getting
number.
served a drive-through penalty.
Yeah, that's pretty intense considering he's probably you need 3 to get a drive-through,
Mm.
or is it the 4th one that gives you the drive-through?
A fourth.
And
Yeah, you get 3 freebies.
yeah, so that's 4 done in as many laps. That's impressive, Bert. Congratulations.
We're currently seeing the back view from Javier Castaño Muniz, who's being hounded by Cliff Hemian. Unfortunately, the angle and positioning of the Porsche's rear wing means you could basically see nothing. Um, I don't know what you're supposed to do about that, but that is how it is.
Cliff Hemian was a standout in our Academy series a few seasons ago, and he's been a little in and out as far as scheduling goes because of his work schedule, and
Mhm.
that's okay. So hopefully he's starting to find his footing here, and he's gonna end up picking the speed up again because he was definitely giving me a run for my money a few times before he abruptly took a leave of absence. So we've
He's
got a
doing
nice
well.
little
No,
stack here.
yeah, Max Simmons behind is actually holding up well. He's made up a couple of positions if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I mean he's doing really well here. It's a short field. The you know the Rex is not a great car. Ooh, Josh is right sucked up
Period.
beneath him. It's not a great car at all.
Yeah,
But you
he's
know
making it
what? This
work.
car, he is making it work. The Rex has some, characteristics that kind of work for it on certain tracks. This track is deceptively quick.
Hmm.
And the Rex is something that Max has been really working on to try and just find speed, find consistency. Josh looks like he's going to throw it up the
Ooh,
inside. They both
gets
get
a
a
little
little bit
bobble.
squirrely on exit. Yeah, and Jamie Bayless now takes a look up the inside as well. Thinks better of it, drops in behind.
Gonna look at Max's helmet here. That's kind of interesting. He's got the shark mouth. That looks pretty nice. So we've oh, you can see that McLaughlin does definitely have a braking advantage.
He's got about every advantage there is except for getting out the hole. So it's going to be really hard for him to get a run coming out of a corner and passing Simmons that way. More likely than not, he's going to need to get some help from the Bentley in front of him, and he's going to have to make this work under braking. Oh, speaking of, the Bentley goes
Ooh, yeah,
wide.
Bentley goes off. Cliff Hemian is
3
at number
wide
3
now.
wide, coming up to the start finish line. Now I'm expecting Simmons to get a huge hole shot out of this, but he's not able to pull away too much. He's gonna have the inside, but he isn't able
Still
to keep up with the
there.
braking. They're side by
Still
side,
there.
no touching, and very clean pass. Tense but clean. But now Cliff Hemian is alongside Jamie Bayless, and I'm surprised that Bayless is able to put the hurt on Hemian.
Yeah, I mean the grunt of that BMW showing his jaw. It's
Oh no, and McLaughlin goes off. Simmons is trying to get around, but he can't find a hole. Bayless is now alongside Simmons, and now they're 3 wide again. Hemian, Bayless, and Nelson
Simmons.
for a brief moment, but Simmons is now getting under fire by Bayless.
And
And
now
they're
they're
3
3
wide
wide
again.
And
And
Max just can't keep that Rex from spinning the wheels up a bit there. It seems like he keeps tail slapping. And now we've got Carlo
Carlo
Durazio
Durazio.
coming to
Yeah.
play spoiler in this mid-pack battle.
This is a nightmarish scenario for Max Simmons. He's now got slightly dirty tires, but he's holding on. Hemian, apologies, is also falling back several spots through this exchange. Remember, he was at the beginning of this pack just like maybe 30 seconds ago.
Yeah, and he's going to take Nelson here. He had an excellent run out of that last
Oh,
corner.
that
Never
is sketchy.
mind.
Oh no, hey, Hemian goes around.
And here comes
Nelson
Burke
maintains a
charging
spot,
his way through the field again.
And now Burke is going around Durazio, but backs off.
You know, it's what starts off as a bit of a messy start turned into probably our best midfield battle of the season.
You think? Yeah, it's pretty good. We've now got both Lamborghinis involved here as the timing updates. Nelson in 10th, Archie in 14th.
Somehow through all this, Simmons recovered and only lost 2 positions. I think for a moment he blipped all the way down to 12th or 13th.
Simmons kind of was able to claw back a little bit of his hard work. McLaughlin, meanwhile, is gone with all
He's decided to check out.
With all the freaking action going on, he's like, I don't want a part of that. I'm just gonna sit the cruise and get out of here.
Yeah, and watching Max again, he is just being haunted by Carlo Durazio.
Durazio's car appears to be slightly damaged. I wonder if it might be due to the turn or the lap 1 incidents we had.
Yeah, it looked like in the replay he caught someone there. But as of right now, all quiet on the UK front.
Looking at the timetables, Javier Eugeni's still right on Turcotte's butt, so we'll have to keep a solitary eye up there. Looks like Durazio is struggling a little bit to maintain composure through the S's.
Burke gets a bad exit, and Nelson throws it up the inside.
I believe that's
no,
Archie.
Not Nelson. Archie. Yeah. I apologize.
Ooh, although, yeah, Burke is struggles to complete the Man, I know the name of this turn. It's not Mulberry. It's freaking Melbourne. Melbourne.
Around the mulberry bush.
Yeah, right. The monkey, the Archie chased the Burke.
There we go. Josh has been passed by Jamie Bayless. They flew up, caught Josh, made the pass because for a second it looked like Josh was going to check out. Maybe Josh had a mistake here. Now the field is stacking up again.
It sure seems like it. And Durazio is still hot on Simmons' tail, but not able to make too much good out of it. Looks like Nelson's pulling away ahead just so slightly.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to get 3 more laps out of this.
Seems so. Average lap here is about a
minute 30.
Minute 30, I'd say, yeah.
Yeah, and the leader just crossed the line now. So yeah, it looks like we might get 3 laps out of this, depending on how Kunos wants to, bless us.
Yeah, the Kunos gods.
Taking a look back at Eugeni, he is just right up inside of Turcotte, who Turcotte struggled in qualification. He seemed to be struggling for pace in practice, but maybe he just had a little
Ooh,
bit of sand in his shorts.
exactly in the same place as last lap around Melbourne hairpin. Excuse me. Burke tries to put it on the inside of John Archie, but Archie closes the door after getting a fantastic exit. Looks like Burke had a bobble out of the final corner as well, so that puts a stop to that maneuver. Let's have a look at Eugenie up front. Timetable showed a third of a second up to Turcotte, but it looks like that has been lost. And they're
Yeah,
just
Eugenie
gonna.
seems to be really, really good in the first sector here. He was taking the purple sector away from the other BMW drivers during practice and qualifying, so
Ooh,
definitely
Max
his
Simmons
best sector.
with a low downforce to that Rex. He seems to
And
be
Bayless is
struggling.
off.
He seems to struggle with the old hairpin, as they call it. He's been going off, and he still goes off. Durazio's taking advantage of that, munching up his lead. And now he's gonna have to pass. Ooh, the little bit of contact, just a little tap. Durazio wanting to get around because now he's got Archie catching up to him. Bayless, yeah, falling through the ranks. You look at that helmet of Max Simmons again.
Yeah, it seems that Bayless is just not having a good
Durazio up the
time.
inside. And simultaneously Burke around the inside of Archie again. Oh no, the outside, apologies, but not able to make it. He tries to get a accelerated cutback. You can see the pace of that Lamborghini Rex just leaving him for dead in a few short meters. Durazio now under fire from Archie again, but he isn't able to make it around the outside, and Burke is now around on the inside. Excuse me. The words are not with me this today.
Yeah, these
Archie's able to make it done, and oh no,
oh, and
Durazio takes
Burks.
Burke.
It looked like Burke came down on Durazio.
Let's maybe have a little
That
replay.
was a
Oh
very
wow,
tight incident.
and Durazio trying to rejoin at an inopportune time. Let's get a replay. Let's have a little helicopter replay. You can see Burt go to the outside, Durazio make a move on the inside. Yeah, I think you might be right, Justin. It looks like the move was made by Burke. I suppose we'll have to see at the end. So now Matt Higgs and Sean Kenny, they've entrenched themselves firmly in the top 6, P5 and
Simmons is side
6.
by side with Archie, by the way, going into this hairpin here. They've got one more lap to go, and Archie's looking to the outside, looking to the inside, comes back to the outside, and Simmons just firmly plants it in his hands, and it's a good run coming out of that corner into the next hairpin.
That Lamborghini Gallardo, off which the Rex is based, is not a particularly wide car, but Simmons seems to be doing everything he can to make it as wide as possible, and just not letting Archie around.
See, I doubt that Kenny's gonna make any moves on Higgs here. Eugenie is still just barely sniffing the draft of the Mercedes in front of him. You know, it makes me wonder if maybe we're seeing a little bit of the F1 factor here, and the BMW relies a little bit too heavily on getting a good aero package to try and find the grip around here with how much of a boat it is,
And he's just
and
dirty air.
the dirty air is just not letting him get away because Aldian got
Archie around the
clean.
inside of Simmons, coming into the S's. Simmons is pulling away, but not enough. Archie's gonna be on the inside. Oh, but he backs off. Simmons gets the better run through the S's.
I
And it
don't
looks
think
like
there's
we're
enough
getting
overlap there for him to want to try and force the issue under braking. The Rex is surprisingly good under the brakes. It's a very light
our
car. In fact, it's the
cars.
lightest car in the field.
Really?
Yes, and
Heck.
Cliff Hamian and number 35, they squeeze each other to the apex there. No contact made. Looked like Carlo Durazio was trying to make a a move on Hemian late, and Hemian said, "No, thank you. I'm gonna go ahead and drop down on the inside here."
So that's gonna be it. Our drivers are finishing now. Simmons is able to hold off Archie for that 10th place. Not win. That was pretty excellent.
Right.
Good qualifying race.
All right, I will rejoin you in just a few minutes here. It shouldn't take very long. We do have a short field, so the in between time will be very small. I will join you on the flip side, sir, and get back to you as soon as I'm done putting on my other hat.
Absolutely. Have a good time, my friend. So that is it for our qualifying race. That's it for our qualifying race. Meanwhile, let's go to our correspondent in the field, Matt Higgs, 5th place qualifier for a track preview of Donington Park. Stay tuned.
All right, welcome everyone to a lap of Donington Park Circuit. Coming down the wheat cross straightaway here, should be all the way up to 5th gear here. And brake just after the exit of the pit lane there. This is red gate. Gotta wait late apex. Try not to go too wide because it'll understeer. All right, through the Craner curves. Brake just after the 2, or just before the 2 for the old hairpin. Don't want to understeer too much. All right, Starkey's Bridge. That's a cool part. You see the bridge on the left-hand side. Brake for McLean's. Just for the rise, brake. The apex, wait to get on. Try not to get too wide. Whoever drives this car sucks. Starkey straight into the S's. Gotta brake just after you tip over the rise. Try to cut that too much, you'll get a track penalty. Alright, watch out for the Melbourne hairpin. That's a hot zone. It's really enticing to dive up the inside of people here, which you're gonna want to cover, so just to keep in mind. Alright, coming to Goddard's Bend here, just for the curve on the right. There's a dip there that you want to brake just before. Get up powered nice and early. And that's a lap of Donington Park Circuit by me. And a terrible driver.
All right, very good, Matt Higgs. Wonder what you were laughing at the end there. Maybe it was your own driving. Not entirely sure. But yeah, that's it. Donington Park. So a very classic British racing circuit. Might as well take the time right now to go over the qualifying orders you see there. John Aldian, BMW first place. Good job to him. Followed by Dominic Turcott in second. Javier Eugeni in third. Albert Arjona in fourth. And Matt Higgs rounding out our top 5. Followed behind him is Sean Kenny. I don't know why I struggled with that S. Javier Castaño Muniz, David Nelson, Josh McLaughlin, and Max Simmons in the top 10. John Archie in 11th, followed by Jamie Bayless, Cliff Hemian, Carlo Durazio, and Andrew Burke in the top 15. And then rounding it out with Arthur Bellotti, Chris Stevenson, Gianluca De Luca, following our 18-car field. So very excellent round there, gentlemen. Looks like we did get a couple of penalties served. Looks like number 135 got a drive-through. That will be Gianluca De Luca. But other than that, everything is A-OK for our drivers. While we get set up, good time to go over championship standings, starting with our pro field. In the pro championship, we have Matt Higgs, Andrew Burke, Javier Castaño Muniz, John Archie, Albert Arjona, Brandon Baker, Sean Kenny, Dominic Turcott, Javier Eugeni, and Gianluca De Luca for your top 10, followed by Max Simmons, David Nelson, Jeff, Wesley Stokes, Brandon Stambuk, and Rachel Garrett. So that is for our platinum and gold drivers. Not very much movement in the field, as opposed to last week, where basically it flip-flopped. Brandon Baker did pick up a position from Sean Kenny for the gold lead. moving up to 6th. Jean-Luc DeLuca got 3 positions due to the combined faults of Max Simmons and David and Jeff, I should say. So very excellent there. A couple of battles, Jean-Luc DeLuca and Max Simmons are now tied for points. And basically, other than that, the top 8 through 14 are basically within spitting distance of each other. So that field could easily invert, given not very much work. For the team championship, we have WRT Audi Club of Brandon Baker, Matt Higgs, Sean Kenny, still in a fantastic lead, 771 to 585 of AXRT. That is Albert Arjona, Wesley Stokes, and Javier Castaño Muniz. Farwell Motorsports behind with 368, so that makes him 3rd place with John Archie, Larry Foster, and David Nelson. Team Walkenhorst with 346 and 4th with Javier Eugeni and Jean Aldian. And finally, for our last 5th place pro championship, or pro team, I should say, how about a Corsa Element of Speed with Carlo Durazio and Jean-Luc DeLuca. We'll bring this up more throughout the race, but just for our brief recap at the beginning, that is it. And now for our Pro-Am and Am championship, we have Brandon Baker, John Aldian, Carlo Durazio, Josh McLaughlin, James Butler, Inu Lugoshi, John Marco Silvestri, Cliff Hemian, Jamie Bayless, Larry Foster, and Ayrton Tobin for our top quote 10. Sorry, I meant Arthur Belotti for 1st place. No, just kidding. Arthur Belotti is 1st place for bronze, followed by Chris Stevenson, Dave Jones, Tommaso Billino, Alex Shine, Adam David Brosh, Shoei Nagase, Josh Horvitz, and P. Spencer. That first one was for our silver drivers, and then that one is for bronze. Oh, sorry, instead of Brandon Baker, I meant John Barker. Apologies, that's what I was confused about. So here's where a majority of the movement came into play in our standings. Not so much even through the silver drivers, but the bronze field had quite some movement. In the silver field, only really close battles with Josh McLaughlin and James Butler, who are 11 points apart. With the entrance of Jamie Bayless, they overtake Larry Foster and Ayrton Tobin, who have not scored any points yet. That's the way it goes a little bit sometimes. Dave Jones picked up a position from Tommaso Billino. Alex Shine picked up 3, so a pretty good result from him. Adam David Brosh likewise with 1. Shoei Nagase and Josh Horvitz both lost 2 due to their non-participation last race. Close fights between Alex Shine, Adam David Brosh, Shoei Nagase, and Josh Horvitz, who are all just 6 points away from top to bottom there. So also with P. Spencer, who isn't here. So with a team championship, we have AF Corsa staying in 1st place. No movement here except for within Team Straka and Garage 59, who both swapped with the last race, but they're still only 3 points apart. We have AF Corsa, Boutzen Guinea in 2nd, R Motorsports in 3rd, Team Straka Racing in 4th, Garage 59 5th, Team Parker Racing in 6th, and Rinaldi Racing, who gained Mark Bessie. That's the name of the driver. So we could be seeing some switch ups there depending on the movement of the teams. You can see in the race director chat, we do not have optimal track conditions. Well, they are currently, but not. They're not worn in and heated yet. So, making a note that we need to be a little less aggressive on the start. There we go. And the cars have gone into the ESR time teleportation device, the TTD patent pending. So we will follow them real quick. As usual, this is due to limitations with the ACC server setup system, simply because we cannot have a desired 2-race format. That's just a limitation. Unfortunately, that makes it hard to emulate the 2016 championship session, because that's how those worked. But we will we make do with what we can. And here we are. Drivers are rejoining. We're going to have a short warm-up period while we reset the timing. Weather has also changed. We are still at optimum track conditions, but the forecast has moved from being sunny with light clouds to mostly cloudy. You can see, and that is a forecast for the next 30 minutes. Air conditions optimum. Temperature 20 degrees and the track is 35 with no wind whatsoever. While I get my broadcasting tools set back up, because that's what happens when we have to change servers like this, unfortunately. There we are. This is the inside view of Albert Arjona, and who is no doubt zen in a zen-like state in his car, just taking time to think back on all the success and all the failures he's had, try to learn from his mistakes, try to channel his inner race car driver and his inner race car to become the Porsche 911 and use that connection to pummel his enemies into submission or something like that. He could just be asleep in there. I don't know. His teammate Javier Castaño Muñoz currently running practice laps. As said in the server chat, 4 minutes, which should be about 3 minutes now until race go time. Oh, that's an interesting parking job by Max Simmons. Oh, there we go, fixed it. Just had to get those wheel dollies underneath the car. You could get that straightened out. The cameraman getting a little distracted by a passing Lamborghini. So of note, this is one of the final races in the series, race 7. We only have 2 more after this. No, 3 more after this. Excuse me. So 8, 9, and 10. So not to say that everything is wrapped up, but it will be wrapping up. It is definitely possible for team championships to be decided in the last few races, but it will be increasingly difficult as we approach the final enduro race at Suzuka. Quick of note there, this practice race, or the practice session that we're currently in, which is really a warm-up, will be setting times. This will have no bearing on the race position of the drivers. This is just a warm-up practice session. Couple noteworthy aspects. David Nelson was able to hang on to 8th place. That is correct position. He is able to hold on to 8th place during the qualifying race. So in spite of falling almost to the back of the field, ended up able to claw his way back up to 8th. Perhaps somewhat due to the unfortunate others, but also due to just correct car management. The BMWs, aside from Jamie Bayliss, and Chris Stevenson, were very strong until the end. I should say that all of them were strong, but Bayliss and Stevenson faltered a little bit at the end. There we go, forwarding to next session. So that will be our race start in just a moment here. So 1.5 minutes until race go time. The people to watch here among the list, Josh McLaughlin, who is currently the only representative of Garage 59, the McLaren team with Rachel Guerin and I'm forgetting the other one. I believe it was Shoei Nagase. That sounds right. Of course, Inu Goshi is absent, and they have not not able to fix their recurring car problems, so they will not be present. Expect them to fall a couple more positions today. Brandon Baker being absent will make it easier for Team AXRT to pick up some positions. Although, with that said, AXRT is also down a driver, so maybe that'll even itself out.
And I am back. Hello.
Welcome back. Ah, crap. I hit a button.
I'm out of breath. I just ran all the way from the track up to the booth.
Yeah,
it's a hot one out
happens
there
sometimes.
today. My shoes are melted.
Oh, it's okay. It's natural. It's pretty hot. You running around to the speed of sound again? I told you to stop doing that.
Absolutely.
Okay, and there we go. Getting the last chunk of the warm-up pace lap, safety lap, formation lap, whatever you want to call it. All good to go. So you got one turn left. Goddard's the final turn, and it's getting a little messy, but that's all right. And everyone seemed to stay off each other. Now waiting for the green.
Any moment now. They like to slow roll it on us.
They do. We've long since passed the finish line, and green, green, green. There we go. Race going. Max Simmons with a good launch. Ditto for Matt Higgs.
And Bayless.
And Bayless as well, yeah. Looks like Sean Kenny's getting choked out by the quit. Oh, Max Simmons goes off. Looks like John Archie gets punted a little bit, or that could be David Nelson. Not entirely sure.
No, that's Archie. That's Archie. Not sure what happened. Looks like DeLuca takes to the grass again after turn 1, but this time he doesn't rejoin into anybody. I think Sean Kenny hip-checked Mr. Max Simmons there. I'm not sure what happened.
It looked like that's definitely a possibility. Unfortunate result for the good qualifying. Looks like Matt Higgs is going around the outside of Jairo Eugeni. It's not going to pay off, though. Castagna Muniz behind.
And Sean Kenny goes around.
And Sean Kenny does indeed go around in that same turn, so not a great turnout for the WRT Audi team. Not initially, at least.
It's not. Some contact,
it almost looked bad
bumping.
It almost looked bad for Castagna because he almost got hooked up with that, but he is able to avoid too much carnage.
All right, and back to Simmons. He's side by side with Cliff. The grunt of that Rex just keeping him in the game. Very
I don't know.
close.
That was sketchy. Looks like we got DeLuca on the charge against Arthur Belotti. Maxim is able to hold off Hemian, who's now under fire from Chris Stevenson.
Yeah, he's throwing it in there. Now, the only good thing about having the type of contact we had is it was very light contact. It's very early in the race. Now, obviously, these drivers aren't going to be happy. They want to keep it clean. We had a small drivers meeting before the race talking about lap 1. And, sorry about that. I lost my train of thought.
It's okay. DeLuca's having a move on Hemian. He's missing it. I'm just going to mess up Hemian's name 1,000 times today.
Let's call him Cliff.
Cliff. Makes it sound like
Cliff
a protein bar.
A lot of that. Yeah, he does. Takes a lot of grass there, but big childbearing hips of the Bentley keeps it going strong. No, you wouldn't know any better. You think it's a Hummer,
right?
Sean Kenny's going to be on a hard charge here this week because he was actually a bit faster than Matt Higgs was in practice. So no doubt he's kicking himself here. He thought he'd really be able to bring it home for the WRT Audi team this week. Throws it up the inside of Belotti. Belotti lets him have it. Belotti knows that Aston is not good here.
Yeah, it's going to struggle a little bit.
Absolutely.
Well, I would expect Max to be struggling a lot more than he is. To be clear, he's not ultra fast, but he's able to hold his own.
Absolutely.
Already back to P12 after that disastrous lap 1.
And the Italian throws it up the inside. And Chris is getting freight trained. Comes down on top of Cliff. I'm sure Cliff isn't going to appreciate that.
Sean Kenny's through.
Let's see what kind of drive Archie gives us today. Because I'll tell you what, if he manages to charge through this field and take, I would say, a top 5, hell, maybe a podium, that would be driver of the day worthy right off. That they got my vote. So we'll have to see what he does here.
It would indeed. It seems like he's, at least in the qualifying race, he struggled to get back his momentum a little bit.
Yeah, I think he's definitely a car that wants to be in the clean air. Unlike the Rex, doesn't really give a damn, does it?
Because it doesn't really have any aero.
No.
In comparison.
The whole car is the aero. Bilotti lets Archie through as well. I think Bilotti's taking the slow is steady approach here.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a strategy to just kind of let the other drivers, you know, out race themselves. Carlo Durazzi on the inside of Josh McLaughlin. McLaughlin puts his foot down and says, "Not today, son." They both switch places. Durazio now on the inside of the next turn, but backs out. Burke wants a look because Durazio disadvantaged himself with that hard out. But now Josh McLaughlin got a bad run through the S's, or before the turn before the S's. Oh, that was the S's. My apologies. Ooh, Durazio gets a terrible braking line. McLaughlin wants to go around.
Oh, McLaughlin's real happy that Burke straightened him out. Probably not happy that he got him crooked to begin with, though. But
yeah,
small victories. You take what you can get, turning the best out of a bad situation. McLaughlin immediately throws it back up the inside.
Yep, and we have a Porsche. I believe that's Arjona.
Arjona.
Falling back. It looks like Nelson got a bad last turn as well. There's too much to cover. Guys, I only have one set of eyes. Spread them out, please. Ooh, Hemi now under 5 from Archie.
Burke and McLaughlin.
It's an absolute bloodbath here.
They touch. McLaughlin keeps it steady.
Hemian able to outpace Archie through that turn. Let's have a look at McLaughlin.
Burke goes wide.
Burke outside and
follows him.
Did a McLaughlin. DeLuca and Simmons are behind. Actually, that's a lie. It's Nelson.
And Archie, or Bayless and Nelson.
Yep.
McLaughlin tries to make the move work at the outside. He's squeezing him down. He's holding him. Oh my goodness!
Burke is just out driving it though.
Look at the train these two have created. Excellent
this is insane.
Driving here.
Bayless almost hits a McLaughlin. It looked like maybe a tap, but that might have just been a netcode thing.
McLaughlin drops in behind, does the wise thing. He gets enough space from Bayless to do so.
Bayless is disadvantaged by that run, but Archie or Nelson can't get around. Max Simmons trying to dive under Nelson, and we got DeLuca trying to dive under Nelson or Simmons behind. This is absolutely insane, ladies and gents.
Nose to tail action here at Donington.
And now you got Sean Kenny in the phrase. Stevenson tries to go around the inside of DeLuca, or the outside of DeLuca, but it doesn't happen, and he disadvantages himself. Kenny tries to go around. DeLuca gets a bad exit out of Goddard's, or goddamn, Melbourne.
Hairpin.
Melbourne hairpin, yep. Oh, but now Kenny can't get around Stevenson again. He's trying to go around the outside.
Nelson's getting freight trained by Cliff in the back as well, stuck on the outside of that off-camber last corner. Is that Archie already?
And actually, Archie got around Hemian.
Through the field.
Yeah, Archie got around Hemian.
And while this is going on, our top 5 is spread out. Maybe top 6, top 7, they're giving each other a breather. But from 9th place back to 18th place, we've got less than 10 seconds.
It's a half of the field.
Josh McLaughlin goes wide on exit again. Jamie Bayless gets a great run.
Oh, Stevenson almost freight trains DeLuca. Simmons goes off. Kenny is able to just plow through. DeLuca hits Archie, who's been trying to make a run. Now Hemian's back in the mix. Stevenson going around.
Archie DeLuca to the grass, back behind Arthur again.
I can't keep up. Stevenson maybe making a look on DeLuca yet again. Simmons struggling. They take out a Ballard. Hemian is maybe getting a run on DeLuca, or no, Stevenson.
And all while this is going on, now Bayless is under fire from Nelson. Nelson gets a good run out of the chicane, coming down into the hairpin.
McLaughlin is briefly saved.
Looks up the inside of Jamie Bayless, almost takes them out.
That was really close.
Thinks better of it, backs out, says, you know what, I'll get him next time.
This is not my strong point in this Huracan.
No, and the field behind the red and white Ferrari of the EOS Motorsports team is just backed up to the gills. Meanwhile, the unlikely hero, Matt Simmons, Max Simmons appears from the ashes of this carnage and just says, you know what? I've got a gas pedal. I've got some tires. I'm going straight.
Yep.
And you can't stop me.
And stopped he will not be. Arthur Belotti actually gets some action out of this as John Archie is trying to fight his way back. He got horribly disadvantaged. Archie going around the outside. Oh, gives him a little bit of the side swipe. No one was disadvantaged. I think Archie is just desperate to gain some positions. His run through the field has been stifled more than I think he likes.
And you got to
Although
Arthur Belotti makes an evasive maneuver. Arthur's going to make sure he takes himself out before he takes someone else out.
Good move.
He's a
good
kind
move.
driver.
Yeah, that's what we like to see.
Side by side in front of John Archie again, we see Cliff and DeLuca. Can't drop a dime between them. Couldn't fit a BK double stack between them. They're going side by side through the chicane, and now we're going to see the brakes of that. We're going to see the brakes of that
penalty.
It looks like number 19. Cliff Hemian's got the drive-through. Goes into the inside.
He got really squirrely under braking. It looks like he gave DeLuca a little bit of a punt, a little kiss.
No harm, no foul. They're going to keep going. DeLuca lost a position, but Cliff is going to have to serve that drive-through for track limits.
Archie just barges his way through, and DeLuca gets it back.
He's going to serve that right now immediately. So he gets it served underway. Very unfortunate, but holy smokes. Breaks up the action here in a little minute so I can... No, never mind. Arjona charging back against Carlo D'Orazio. And his teammate, he passes in the grass sideways. It looks like Xavier Castaño Muñez caught the grass wrong, ended up sideways. Car stalls. He gets it going again. He joins behind David Nelson. Sean Kenny's charging up to him fast. He's not going to be able to hold him off. Sean Kenny's got the run. Barely getting that Porsche up to speed. Now he's going to be on the attack again. Sean Kenny was disadvantaged at the very start of this race, and he finds himself merely back inside the top 10. So, lucky things, win 10 minutes, he's gone from 5th to last to 10th. Incredible. He is traveling. Someone get this guy frequent flyer miles. Send him to Tahiti for a weekend. He needs a vacation.
So we're just getting a little replay of Javier Castaño Muñez. It looks like it wasn't quick enough on the draw. It looks like, although what I can see, he just lost it on his own accord. Probably the same thing that happened to Simmons in the qualifying.
And meanwhile, Arjona is just hard charging under Orazio. He says, you know what? You guys are in the middle of the Euro finals right now. Don't you have something better to do? Get out of my way. I've got things to do here.
Very true. And it looks like Jamie Bayless and David Nelson are piling on the pressure behind with Josh McLaughlin. Oh no, Sean Kenny spun in Goddard's in the final corner. Sean Kenny's around.
That off, unless there was some help there, that off-camber corner can be deadly, especially with the way these cars' weights change throughout the race with the fuel load going down. You know, you could practice all week for this, but sometimes you just get caught out, you know? And for all we know, maybe he has some flat spots, some graining. He had an early spin. He went to the dirt. Right now, he could be. He might just need to go onto recovery mode, nurse these tires back to the pits as much as he can, to the pit window, excuse me, and then go on the hard charge because he did have pace. He had top 5 pace in qualifying. He had top 5 pace in practice this week. So he's kicking himself now, but it's doable. Now back to Arjona. Again, hard on the heels, going down into the chicane, looking to the outside. D'Orazio holding a center middle line. And it looks like he blows the corner. He overbroke himself. He rejoins. No harm, no foul. But Burke might be able to beat him into the final corner, or the second to final corner here. Possibly, maybe not. Definitely not.
It's going to be hard with that Porsche.
Yeah, that Porsche gets out of the hole like no one's business. And right behind them, Nelson, Bayless, and Josh McLaughlin, nose to tail, going through this last sector here. It's insane how tight these cars get under braking. They all stack up.
We were watching for a minute while we talked about Arjona.
And John Archie is spun. I'm sorry to interrupt you. John Archie is spun in the final corner. He was close to Max Simmons and DeLuca. Not sure if there was any contact there. Maybe we can get a replay. DeLuca's letting him by. I think there was some contact there, and he's definitely feeling bad about that.
We're going to go back for a brief replay against our better wishes. Because I know something's going to happen when we do this, but yeah, we got Archie and DeLuca going for it. Looks like DeLuca gave him a little tap. I think I might want to say that's DeLuca. Simmons had to go on the evasive.
In the red one.
Oh no, that's a D'Orazio. Apologies. The white and red.
White and red is DeLuca. The white and his teammates in the yellow one. Yeah. And while this is going on again against your better judgment, here we go. Nelson less than a tenth of a second behind Bayless, all up in that rear end there, sniffing the exhaust fumes. He goes, what you got there? Premium? Is that
91?
unleaded? Yeah, 91, 103. What do you got, bud?
I think very rarely do we see Dave Nelson this aggressive. And he's a bit of a wild card when he gets pushed. He's very good at setting the cruise, but I mean, we're seeing a pretty good reaction from him right now. He's doing well.
Do we know what happened to Mr. Chris Stevenson? He was running. He's been on a hard charge. He was very aggressive at the start here. He's catching up to Castaño Muniz. He's in 12th position right now, and he had outright pace to be a top 3 here. He had a really rough qualifying race, and I'm wondering if that got in his head. You got to be in the right headspace. You got to be able to bounce back from
It's definitely
adversity here.
possible.
You know, it's 2 races for a reason.
Exactly. I say he is in the middle of bouncing back right now, although I think it's not perhaps working as well as he had hoped, because he was battling with Simmons not too long ago. And after that incident with DeLuca and Archie, I believe that kind of allowed him to get a little bit of room. Like you said, he's now battling with Castaño Muniz, and I think it's working out okay for now. Although they're definitely getting overshadowed by the McLaughlin Bayless Nelson freight train in front of him.
Oh, man. Yeah, Stevenson goes wide again into the grass on the straightaway. He's pushing a little bit hard right now. He needs to get his crew chief in his ears. Crew chief needs to tell him, listen, bud, calm down. You're a quarter of the way through this race. You're in 12th place. There's a gaggle of cars ahead of you. Buckle down.
No, Bayless goes around. Bayless goes around. David Nelson dives to avoid, ends up giving him a tap, but doesn't do any damage. Castaño Muniz has to take emergency evasive action and avoids, but that'll cause at least 3 or 4 spots.
And see, again, the thing. This is why I was just saying, Chris Stevenson, he needs a crew chief in his ear telling him, calm down. There's a gaggle of cars in front of you. They're gonna make a mistake, and it's almost on cue. I couldn't get the words out. All of a sudden, boom, mistake. Commentator's curse.
Commentator's curse. It's possible. We are frequenters of the commentator's curse.
Yeah. And now
our voodoo powers are very strong.
Yes, they are. So Burke is caught up to Arjona. Arjona is still being held up by Durazio. I think if he gets free, he's got a chance to go chase down Higgs, because Higgs is not doing anything special today. Not his usual podium self.
Yeah, he's catching up little by little to Eugenie ahead. They were 8 seconds separated, like maybe 5 laps ago. So he's catching up slowly. I don't even want to say surely yet, but he's doing it. We'll have to see where that leads. Unfortunately, that action has meant that our giant train has become a small train. They've lost a couple of cars on the rails. They'll have to pick those up. But we do have a couple of small battles between the 6909 of the twin BMWs of Chris Stevenson and Jamie Bayless. I'll have to check in with that every once in a while.
Max
and the
Simmons and Archie right now, by the way. That's what you're going to, isn't it?
Yep,
there
that's
we
exactly
go.
what I'm going to. So this is flavors of a couple of laps ago, when DeLuca gave Archie the business and ended up ceding the position back.
Now we're seeing the battle of old and new here, or old and older.
Yeah, I should say. I think these are both pretty staunch veterans.
Mm-hmm. Right now, Archie's looking in front of him, and he's going, listen, Max, right here, me, new hotness. You, old and busted. Get out of my way.
Yeah, well, Simmons is saying my time's in front of me here, buddy. I'm not gonna make it easy on you. You gotta work. You got the new car, but you don't got all the tricks and whistles. I got that. I got 10 cylinders of complete fury behind me. Yours, I'm not sure they're as good.
Arjona less than a 10th behind Durazio. He showed his nose there, and backs out of it. No contact or anything like that. But they keep fighting like this. Maybe McLaughlin makes some ground up here. You know, it's about time we see that McLaren do something. I want to see it in victory lane, but I don't know if that's going to happen this season. Maybe a top 5. We've seen Josh do stranger things in strange conditions. So.
Well, he's been slowly picking up positions through the entire race, and he's kind of leading Nelson and Muniz behind a little bit to victory, it seems, or at least to success, I should say. They've made up quite a few positions. Oh no! Durazio cuts the inside corner, goes bouncing along. He ends up keeping the position, but Arjona has now got the advantage into the hairpin. Although
Ooh, and Burke is up on the inside of him too.
I was gonna say he botched the braking zone. It looks like a little bit. Burke ended up getting his nose right in there.
Yeah, I think Durazio tried to park it a little bit heavy on the inside. He's doing that again here. If you watch carefully, Durazio is delaying his on-throttle application by about a fraction of a second. It's just enough to disturb the on-throttle of Arjona. It's a very good defensive tactic, if not maybe a little dirty. It's clean, but it's dirty in the sense that the drivers don't appreciate that. You're racing them too hard, as they say.
Well, and also it doesn't advantage him in the long run very much. It helps him keep this position, and I suppose Higgs away is a little far, or in front is a little far, I should say. But it is kind of a sign of I'd rather just save face here and kind of park my tent here
Now,
instead of
McLaughlin, we missed it. He had a small spin. He's back in 12th now.
oh, it seems, yeah. Maybe I'm not gonna go for a replay on that one.
No, and while we have a moment here, I got a question to ask you. Friend, co-commentator, cameraman, executive producer, let me ask you, are you a fan of the Men in Black?
The Men in Black movies?
Yeah.
Absolutely, I freaking love them.
Then how
The
did
most
you miss
recent
it?
one, not so much. But
How did you miss it? I set you up.
I'm sorry, I wasn't paying
You were supposed
attention.
to reply, old busted hotness.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay, I
That's the
got
first
you.
movie.
Oh man, I'm disappointed. Maybe we should just end the stream now. I'm such
Oh
a
my
failure.
goodness.
I've
I set you up for it.
I'm so
Oh
sorry.
man.
Oh
It's
no.
okay. Man, you're killing me, bud. You're
You
killing me. We're gonna have to drill you on some classic early 2000s movies.
dude, no. So this is one thing that I think maybe everyone needs to know about me. I have the memory of a goldfish. And like my pattern recognition not great. So being able to run, like, you ask me to name basically any actor and it'll be a bloodbath. Like you'll see smoke coming out of my ears and stuff. So I appreciate it, and you did good, but you gotta know who you're working with, man.
Yeah, you liked Wesley Snipes in Men in Black?
He's pretty good. Whoa, wow, Arjona going way slidey.
And
I mean,
Arjona goes
it might have been
around.
Will Smith, but you never know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was.
Okay. That was a beautiful slide recovery from Albert Arjona, by the way. Unfortunately, he had to lose the positions to Burke and Nelson, I believe. But it ended up being pretty aight.
Maybe just Burke. Nelson's 10 seconds back. I'm not sure what happened to him. And again, Chris,
I
he's
could
got
have
it in
sworn
his ear.
multiple cars got by, but maybe I was too distracted by my own failure to recognize that reference.
Well, now hopefully his failure doesn't distract him and he can put his head down. He's nearly met up with his teammate on track so that they seem to work better in a group. So we'll see what happens. What kind of pitch
Speaking of working as a group, whoops, actually pressed the wrong button. Max Simmons is still continuing to thwart the efforts of John Archie.
All right, looks like finally.
Although, literally as I say that, Archie dives on the inside of the hairpin.
Yeah, now that John Archie's free, we're gonna see him definitely gain some ground. it is so hard to pass the Rex. The Rex is not a hot lapper; it is a race car, and not even a good one at that. But you can make it work. You can make it obnoxious.
And Max Simmons is no stranger to that. Props for taking the car. I mean, the only time we've ever seen it is in season 2, when our Lord and Savior Mike Stoffmeal actually was challenged when driving the Rex. I forget his name, but we have one guy come in who dominated in the GT challenge for the second season, and Stoffmeal was hurt, but he ended up actually winning after the other guy quit. It was a dang, I want to say Sebastian was his name, but I don't remember. We actually saw Max Simmons get a little bit of a run on Archie through that last section, but it wasn't able to put it to good use. Looks like he outbroke himself a little bit.
Now we got a little bit of a lull in the action. We're just kind of skimming the field here. There's a small gap between Burke and Durazio.
Looks like Bayless and McLaughlin were getting a little racy. Can we talk about Durazio and Burke, who have worked their way up to 5th and 6th place?
Definitely a recovery drive for both of them. Burke's having a hard time with this track, it seems. Maybe it's not one that's in his wheelhouse.
Definitely possible. Seems now is probably a good time to go over our qualifying order just to see where people have kind of gone. So Turcotte in second, Eugenie in third. They've mostly stayed the same. Arjona has fallen from 4th to 7th. Higgs is about the same. Durazio, as you see, from 14th or from 13th, excuse me, to 5th. That's pretty dang good by me. What happened to Burke? He's gone from 15th to 6th. Same story of success. Mostly it's upward movement from the Ferrari and BMW team. Although, Castaño Muniz goes really wide and gets passed by Stevenson, as we're watching here. So
Another one in the bedpost. Stevenson, he's coming for him.
Nelson, we can see ahead, is quite some distance. He's got a few seconds worth of room, but that we'll have to see how long that lasts.
Looks
Durazio,
like
meanwhile, gets
Carlo.
undertaken by Burke, although it's not as successful as I think Burke would have hoped.
No, he got a good drive cover, and then Burke just
Oh,
gives him the old chrome horn,
the chrome horn. I love it.
and he just carries on his merry way. No love lost. Um,
That might be cause for concern, or a minor penalty, mayhaps.
yeah, he might be looking at a few seconds there. That's no bueno.
Meanwhile, Gianluca De Luca's cup to Simmons, although he immediately bottles his pass attempt in the hairpin, and Simmons is able to get out Goddard without too much trouble. Now
And for
Archie
some
is
reason, Kenny is spun in the final chicane. He is slow getting it back on the track. I don't know what is going on. He is just not having a good time.
it's a total nightmare for Kenny, as it seems.
Yeah, man.
Him and Hemian have just been not super successful this time.
No, and you know what? When it's not your day, it's not your day. There will be
Ed.
other days. There will be other battles.
Well, I'm
By
intimately
virtue of
familiar
just
with it
being
not
in
being
this
my
race,
day.
yeah. By virtue of just finishing the race, though, he'll be picking up some good points.
With that, our pit window opens. 10 minutes centered on the 30. Oh, wow, Max Simmons. He's struggling to keep that Rex on the road. Looks like the pressure of DeLuca is not helping that at all. Although, to his credit, he has been able to manage the oversteer that comes with dipping a couple of tires off. So, credit where credit's due, I suppose. It's not helping his race at all, though.
No, not one bit.
Although, DeLuca has a terrible S section. So, that'll
He's
give
been having
Simmons
a
a little
terrible
bit of.
race.
Yeah.
Makes me wonder if he's got one eye on the
On
the
the
track
football.
and one eye on the football. Yeah.
Durazio, our first taker of the pits.
Can't say I blame him though. No spoilers for anyone watching this broadcast, but it should be done by now, or thereabouts. Okay, let's see. We've got our pit lane
A
takers.
bunch of takers.
Huge pit lane. Yeah, there we go. Both of the
Durazio,
EOS cars.
Gianluca,
And
Castagno, you already
again,
mentioned.
Xavier Castaño Muniz going in early. He is just crawling into pit lane. This cannot be. He's doing 18. He ran out of fuel.
Oh no, Josh McLaughlin misses a braking zone and goes hot into the wall. Looks like he was able to slow it down quite a bit before hitting it, but that is not going to be great. That was a turn 1 incident, I believe.
I'm almost positive that Castano ran out of fuel and managed to coast down to his pit stall. Unlucky for him, his pit stall was the second pit stall on the track. He had to go all the way down at 25 Ks, 20 Ks, 18 Ks, rolls into the box at 16 Ks.
Well, I think I mean, it's cutting it about as close as you can. I think we should just be thankful that he even made it. If he had to get towed from there, oh, what a nightmare.
I think at that point you just tell your teammate to come in around the next lap and put you in your box.
Right?
Faster at that point. Especially because you figure this is only a minute and a half lap. If he runs out of fuel,
It's going to be at least 3 minutes.
Yeah, if he runs out of fuel just before his box teammate comes around, stop and go for speeding on pit lane for John Archie.
Oh no.
That's got to be on entry. This track is so hard to get into pit lane. It looks like Dave Nelson coming out on fresh tires is just all over the place in front of him.
Well,
Dave Nelson didn't pit yet. Excuse me. Dave Nelson's just all over the place.
Who did we see at the beginning who
We lost
look, someone left.
here.
Someone left.
That looks like Xavier Castaño Muniz.
Muniz left. No? No. He's here. He's 14th.
Oh no, he is here. Who left? It had to be one of the Italians.
It's possible. You'd think I'd be able to know this. Dang it.
Red one. Yeah, no, it's got to be the red one.
A DeLuca.
135. Yeah.
DeLuca's gone. Yeah. Oh, what a tragedy.
Shame.
Well, he did. I was just gonna posit that didn't he? Wasn't he the one who had a
Big
pit?
accident.
Well, someone hit the inside of the pit wall and caused some damage. I'm trying to remember if that was
Oh,
qualifying race or
that
this
was
race
him. That was him. In the qualifying race, he had
Yeah.
a drive-through. He came in and smacked the wall. Not a good day. Not a good race weekend. We'll see where that leaves him.
Well, this race has been tumultuous to say the least. Now viewing Dave Nelson versus Chris Stevenson. No, that's not Chris Stevenson. That is John Archie.
Jock McLaughlin is in the pits. Bohemian's still out. Simmons is out. Bayless is out. Stevenson is still out.
You know, Matt Higgs is all alone. He's lost any position up to Javier Eugeni, down back to 8 seconds. But I think being in 4th is sufficient to call a good race.
Yeah, his championship hopes are more about just surviving and staying in the top 5 for the rest of the season. Right now,
Bless you. Bless you.
That one snuck up on me.
It happens.
Really, you know, while he's not getting the best out of his car right now, or maybe he's just not too familiar with this track, I think we've seen a lot of a shakeup from the drivers that are and aren't.
Well, this is a recent addition to the ESR roster. I mean, we don't normally come to Donington, and it's possible to see that.
And Olton.
Yeah.
Maybe next season, we know one of those next season will get into the rotation. Maybe both. Who knows?
Well, it's definitely possible with the GT4 series hitting up all 3, if I remember correctly. Being
Matt Higgs in the pit lane.
A British-based series. Let's pour one out for the winner of the worst luck award. Actually, we got 2 terrible luck contestants here, Sean Kenny and Josh McLaughlin. They're potentially in contention for picking up one more spot from Cliff Hemian if he doesn't get out of the pits in time, but it's still not looking great.
And I don't know what's going on.
Looking in front a little bit, Arthur Belotti. I mean, he's living proof. Oh, yep, they're gonna get past Hemian, but Arthur Belotti living proof that sometimes you just gotta survive. Like, he's not had the pace, he's not had the drive, but just by not getting too involved, you know, he's up to 13th.
Pit lane is busy right now.
It is.
So we've got Higgs in pit lane coming out, Arjona in pit lane, Nelson in pit lane, Stevenson in pit lane. Archie is serving his stop and go plus 30. He must have really sped in the pits. My goodness, they don't hand that out for no reason.
No kidding.
You know, he's had a nightmare to go from winning Spa to leading at the last race and getting taken out to now just not having a good day.
Yeah, well, it does happen, and that's kind of the way the cookie crumbles sometimes.
Yeah, and the good news is we finished out the season. We've got our this is the start of our last triple header where we bang out 3 tracks 3 weeks in a row. We've got Barcelona and Hungaroring, and then after that we have a week off in Suzuka. Yeah, Suzuka being double points. We go to head off to Japan, just like so many F1 championships of the past, finishing off with that.
I'm so excited for that. What a finish that'll be. Suzuka is one of my favorite tracks, and I make sure to tell everyone that because it is. I love it so much, and I'm excited to see it in full-length enduro, or well, mini enduro, there with the IGT series, and how that impacts. Oh wow, Josh McLaughlin, hard dive under a BMW. I believe that's
Aldian.
Aldian, yeah.
Yeah, and Aldian's technically, Aldian's a lap ahead of him. That's Josh McLaughlin literally trying to save his lap. He's trying to not be a lap down here. Let's see.
Max Simmons resuming his usual mantra of pit last. He's gone all the way up to 4th with everyone pitting in front of him.
Yeah, and we've got right now though due to pit cycles, we do have a 1, 2, 3 BMW top shelf here. So I don't think we've ever seen that before.
That I'm almost certain we haven't.
BMW Spec Series. 2 of them are still yet to pit, followed by Simmons as the last 3 drivers on track that haven't pit yet. They've got plenty of time. Max could even squeeze out one more lap.
It's
He wanted to
it's
cut
certainly
it
possible.
fine.
Max has had a string of bad luck, not really related to the race, just because he's apparently had weather-related issues, worries over the power going out, and so he's like, hey, you know what, my team is more important than winning this race, so I'm going to back up. He did that 2 or 3 times in a row, so it's good to see him able to set some laps, and where unfortunately it wasn't the most successful track ever for the Rex, and yeah, he's into the pits now, along with Bayless. Javier Eugeni, the last car yet to pit.
Yeah, and there's a chance here, depending on where his pit box is, there is a small snowball's chance that somehow, some way it times out so that Bayless or Simmons lead a lap. It depends. No, actually it can't because
I
the start
don't
finish
think
line is so far
that's.
back.
Yeah.
No, it would be weird, but there is a world. You have to look into the machinations of my mind. There is a way this works out, but not with the way the pit boxes are located.
So I'm a little bit surprised that Josh McLaughlin and Jean Aldian, they are going at it. We've been watching a little bit for the past lap or so, and well, I mean, it kind of just dissolved right now as I was speaking, actually, but it was pretty hot. We now got Sean
Surprisingly
Kenny,
close.
maybe having a look and backs out. He backed out really early. I'm not entirely sure about that.
I think Josh McLaughlin's just a little frustrated. He's had a bad race day so far, and maybe he just wanted to show the crowd at home that, you know what, I do have what it takes to run up front with these leaders here. I just can't seem to catch any clean air. I can't catch a break. You guys are just, you got away from us, and now we're playing catch up. So Xavier
Yeah,
Jenny in the pits.
he qualified 9th, so with that, the pit window closes, and no one has missed it.
Precisely. And it looks like, yes, Eugeni retains second place. He leapfrogged Turcotte.
Yeah,
And so now we've got BMW 1-2. I
and
don't foresee Chris Stevenson making his way or Bayless making their way up to third, so have a BMW shutout. But if the race ended where it started right now, we'd be looking at a dual BMW podium. It's a
it's
very
not
good
possible to
track
imagine that
for
that
BMW.
pit fiasco with Muniz has not been kind. He's now down in 11th, although it could have been a lot worse. Truly, I mean, like we said earlier, if they had to tow 20 feet to the pit box, that would have been a nightmare.
Yeah,
But
absolutely. Absolutely. So he crawled down pit lane, but he got there. Arjona comes out in 6th, or he's made his way into 6th after the pit cycle. And he's behind Orazio again, about a second and a half here, second and a quarter, we'll say. And we'll have to see what happens. He was right up underneath him before. I think Arjona would love to see himself get a top 5 after the kind of up and down race he's had. He's had a couple spins. Porsche's not easy to control in some of these crazy braking zones where there's a quick shift. That junk in the trunk starts shaking, and all of a sudden you're twerking your way around the track in all the wrong ways.
well, as much as I think the internet would like to see that, it appears to be mostly controlled in this race. I think the biggest, um, perhaps, worry for the XRT Porsches is that Matt Higgs still maintains 4th. That's going to be painful for them. Even though Sean Kenny he's not falling out. He's still in 15th, so he's still getting points.
Still some
But even
drama.
even Muniz being in 11th, still they need to. It's not the result they were hoping for.
No, but let's talk about some drama going into the final 3 races of this season. So, because Brandon Baker, an ace driver for the WRT team, is now without a ride, possibly for the remainder of the season, we were yet to see if he'll make it back in time for any of the races. Um, there's a real chance that if Arjona and Castano can keep putting together these races, and Wesley's running a reduced schedule, so It seems Wesley has made the double points races. So there is a possibility here. Higgs cuts the chicane, misses it entirely, ends up in the sand. No harm, no foul. But there's a possibility here that if Arjona and Castano can get it together for these last races and finish like third, fourth, second, fifth, that kind of deal, and Higgs is left looking. Higgs goes wide coming out of the final two corners. Again, what is going on in Higgs's ride right now? He seems to be having trouble. He blew the braking zone for the final corner as well. He's having a lot of trouble.
Huh.
Commentators
Might have
curse because I'm talking about him.
overheated his brakes or something.
Possibly. But to continue on, if we see a scene where Sean Kenny is plagued with issues and the duo and sometimes trio are able to put together a result, I mean, we're looking at a world where, let's just say, let's play mind games here.
Yeah.
Hypotheticals. They close the gap by 30 points a race. Okay. You got this race, you got the next two races. They're behind something like 150 points, 160 points, maybe more now. But you go into if they can close the gap by 60 or 70 points, maybe 90, but that's a lot. We'll say 60 or 70 points.
That's a little hopeful,
going into Suzuka. There's a real chance that if Baker doesn't make it back and Arjona, Wesley, and Castano can find themselves in maybe the top 5, maybe they can sweep the bonus points. We're in a situation where we might have a fight for a championship. In the darkest hour comes the brightest of lights, and
calm before the storm.
Absolutely, and for Arjona and Castano, their wizard that arrives precisely when they need is whoever the support wizard is that broke the pedals of Brandon Baker. So we might be going into the final leg of this season with some serious drama as Higgs drives to survive.
It is definitely possible. What the double points, you can it's not even difficult to imagine that 60 points could be a difference between one driver and the next, or one driver and another. If even a couple positions are traded.
So we're looking at a very real possibility that if Higgs is on the outside looking in, because if he's not able to win these races and he's forced to see ground in 4th, 5th, 3rd, and we can see these Porsches get it up on the podium like they did last week with that 1-2 finish, we're in for a surprise. We're in for some big stuff.
Well, this is one of the first times we've seen the WRT team really falter. Maybe Brandon Baker was the glue and holding the team together, but we've seen Higgs pull some. We're on board right now with Arjona and Durazio. Just as a little tangent, Durazio went really wide, and it looks like Arjona's going to go wide again, trying to go around the outside. Looks like able to corral it. But as I was saying, with Brandon Baker gone, probably coincidental that Kenny's had one of the worst races of this entire series.
Arjona to the inside again, into the chicane, thinks better of it, scares the Ferrari of Durazio.
I was going to say, if he went for that, that would be particularly ill-advised.
And Nelson's looking for it now.
These guys have been fighting for the last couple of laps.
He gets the over-under.
Well, he gets the under. Oh, no, he gets the over-under on that turn, that's
again.
Right. Will Durazio give him that opportunity? No, he just goes around. A little bit of argy-bargy.
Little rubbing. The Porsche gets a better run out of this, though.
You can see the Porsche hook up, yeah.
Shades of Xavier at Silverstone here. Ferrari's beating him under the brakes here, but he's got the inside still.
Well, Xavier went around the outside and looks like, he forced the issue and holds it down.
Yeah, so now Arjona is still there. He slams the door on him.
If he did one of those at Silverstone last time, they would have had that position. Oh, and Durazio gets a bad run out.
And now
He's now alongside Nelson.
There. And again, we see Nelson showing his pace this week. Oh,
but Trades gets a little bit antsy.
And now Burke.
Nelson just can't escape the controversy this time.
Yeah, we've got ourselves some mid-pack fiesta over here. It's a whole family pack of tacos.
Oh, that's actually Archie. That's not for position.
Oh, well, that makes a lot less sense to me.
Yeah. You're right.
Interesting.
I was the overlay is like, hey, you idiot, it's Archie. And I'm like, oh, Nelson's doing really good. And Archie. Oh yeah, it's
Oh, in
Archie. Oh no,
contact. That's the
Burke missed the
second
braking
time.
zone. And
That
now
is
the
the
Ferraris are
second time.
yeah, and the Ferraris are sat staring eye to eye, looking at each other, no doubt angrily.
I think this time Burke said, you know what? Last time I gave you the old bump and run. This time I gave you the old, I gave you the little goose to
Smack
let
and
you through.
dash.
Yeah, yeah. The take two. Call me in the morning.
And and Arjona is checked out. So he's still quite some distance away from Higgs. So it's difficult to imagine. I mean, mistake notwithstanding, it's happened before, but that he could catch up to Higgs. So he's pretty locked down in fifth. What with Durazio being over almost 10 seconds behind, probably more, seeing the timing gate.
Yeah, and Arjona's down. No, he's only back 7.5 seconds. So Arjona's
Oh,
down 14 seconds on Higgs here. Higgs isn't fighting Turcotte. Maybe Higgs is making a charge for Turcotte. I'm not sure. He's back 6 or 7 seconds at least. Seven and a
eight,
half.
yeah,
Seven and
8
seven
seconds almost.
quarters. 7 and 7 quarters. Sorry, 6 and 7 quarters. We're gonna keep you up to. We're gonna keep you doing
No,
math
you mean
here.
7 and 7/10.
No, I meant 6 and 7 quarters.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that
you
actually does
gotta
work.
you know, this is how you shortchange people. You know what I
Ah,
mean?
I see.
You go to the convenience store and you start talking numbers, and all of a sudden they just want to get you
Oh
out of the hair.
God.
They're like, yeah, whatever, 20 on pump 5, get out of my head.
Exactly. Yeah, no. Oh no, I
Durazio
remember.
lost 5 more seconds that last lap. He was only 6 and 7 quarters behind him, and
Yeah, that's a
now
bit of a nightmare.
he's 11 or he's 10 and
Oh.
11 quarters behind him. It's crazy.
Now Chris Stevenson has found his way up or no, I should say Andy Burke has found his way up Stevenson's collar. Now applying heat generously. Head on,
Directly
apply
to the
directly to
forehead.
your into your forehead. Exactly. So
Oh
now
man,
I've got more drama emerging. I'm actually kind of
McLaughlin
curious. Burke and
can't catch a
Nelson
break.
are allegedly within spitting distance of each other. Oh yeah, I see him
And
back there. Okay, so there's some potential heat coming in from in the distance.
see Josh excellently letting by Jenny there. Very opportune, very professional. Looks like I was watching it on Fox Sports 1. Drivers could take notes on how to do that properly. Some people seem to not be able to get it right. Insane.
So Burke is just unable to maintain the pace he has to keep up with Chris Stevenson. Stevenson's just, I mean, they were side by side basically in the last corner, the last lap, and now Stevenson's kind of just driving away. There's something going on. There's some magic in the air. I don't know if there's some magic pumpkin carriage going on, but the BMWs are just demolishing everyone.
Ooh. Yeah, and you know what? Stevenson's only 2.5 seconds back on Durazio. Durazio's got some damage, probably. Not much, but enough. There's
I bet.
definitely time with how short these laps are.
Bless you.
Excuse me. Yeah, Chris Stevenson might be able to put together something where he finishes, you know, he ties his best finish of the year of 6th place. Wants to do
Not
it
at
for
all
the
out of the
local
realm of
crowd. His dad
possibility.
is watching in the stands. You can see him right there.
There he is, right there.
Right there at the
You
start finish line.
can see him.
Which one is he? The one with the hat?
Yeah, he's the one with the shirt.
Yeah. He's wearing pants. I know, incredible. He doesn't get the nickname Daddy's Boy Stevenson for nothing.
Well, he's making him proud. Although we can see Durazio is still falling and Stevenson's still rising. They both Durazio lost about a quarter of a second and Stevenson gained about half. So he's got a little bit of pace. Stevenson does.
Yeah, just a bit. Just a bit. Looks like last lap, Chris Stevenson ran exactly a second faster than the car ahead of him. So, looking at my timing sheet here, yeah.
Ooh, the number. So the number nice is putting down some pretty good pace again. Another half a second almost on Durazio. With 12.5 minutes or 12 3/4 minutes left. No, sorry, that's 11 and 7/4.
There we go. 11 and 7/4. I like it. I like it. Slam
He's
Bam
got
Jam, the
plenty of
elevator
time.
man.
Exactly. So he's got plenty of time. If he can play his cards right, it's not unforeseeable. They can get up, and actually Burke is catching as well. Not Stevenson per se so much, but Durazio, because he hasn't lost much time on Burke, and it's definitely less than the amount of time that Stevenson has gained on Durazio.
Yeah.
Whoa!
We're
Now we
coming
see
up
John Aldian
to.
diving under Max Simmons. Just kidding. That's not even a little bit for position.
we're coming in on about 48 quarter minutes left in the race.
I don't even
And
know why I
Chris
like that
Stevenson
so
has
much.
cut that gap down to 1 second. He is driving his heart out. And I don't really know what's going on with the car ahead of him, but he's just driving his heart out. And Burke is holding on, so he's running a great pace. Right now he's running his best laps. He's running 28.8, 28.9 every lap, and his best lap's only a 28.7.
What's that in quarters?
Oh God, I don't know. 2 rolls of nickels and
I gotta run by the bank later. I think I need to
2
practice
pennies.
for my exchange.
Get the coin. Sponsored by Coinstar.
Are
No,
they
we're
still
not.
around?
But that'd be a sick one.
That would be interesting. I would love it. That would be.
Yep, we have our penny podcast.
Texas Instruments TI-84.
Yeah. Oh my God. Sponsored by Texas Instruments. And McCarthy. I think it's McCarthy textbooks. It's been some years, you know. I realize I'm getting old.
Yeah. Dang it. I used to have one of the Kaplan or
Casio.
yeah, Casio. Why not? Wait.
Now Burke gained a second on Stevenson last lap. Sorry to interrupt our conversation.
No,
about
that's
math.
okay.
We can talk about
That's
time
way more
now.
important.
Burke gained a second on Stevenson. That means that Burke is putting the jets on. Burke
Although Stevenson,
quite a good lap.
we just saw them both pass the timing gate. Stevenson got a 2 tenths from Burke and 4 tenths off Durazio, who has lost another 27 ninths from Arjona ahead. So
we'll have to see what happens.
That's 3 seconds.
7 ninths.
I'm sorry.
I'll have to see if Chris Stevenson is going to be able to keep his cool here now that he's caught this car ahead of him. Durazio has shown that he's hard to pass all day long. In fact, half the time he's been passed is when he's getting moved by Burke, who is firmly behind Chris Stevenson. I as fast as that Ferrari is, I don't think it has the grunt to make a move on this BMW here. So
It would have to be a very particular set of circumstances. It's not impossible.
Yeah, it'd have to be somewhere strange. Maybe the run coming out of the chicane into the first hairpin, perhaps. I'm not sure.
Well, isn't Chris struggle with the chicane just a little bit?
Yeah, I'm thinking that
it's
might
not
be the
unforeseeable.
place. Yeah, and again, we see the same pattern here, where once the BMW catches the car in front of him, it seems to lose a lot of pace. I'm wondering if that has to do with dirty air.
It's possible. I mean, there they are. Durazio is got a mirror full of Stevenson.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see much damage on Durazio's car, but it's kind of undeniable. There has to be something going on.
I think he wants Swedish meatballs for dinner. That's a deep cut, because Swedish meatballs sometimes are made out of horse.
Oh.
And that's a prancing pony in front of him. You see, you've got to connect these dots.
I got you. See, you're going 3
dots.
levels. You know, we're working on Inception here. You're 3 levels deep, and I'm still driving the van around.
Yeah, I mean, right now we're going for like some German 7-layer cake.
Yeah, ooh, that would be good.
Dutch 7-layer cake, yeah, lots of chocolate. And speaking of chocolate, nothing would be sweeter than Chris getting this move done so that he can start working on the next car. I don't think there'll be time, but I think just for his own pride, he would like to see himself pushing.
We just saw there, right again, he kind of struggled on the chicane, the S's they call them. And
I'm wondering if he has issues with track cut black flag warnings, and he is taking the safest route possible. Because if I know if it's me and I get that last track cut black flag warning, I'm not risking it for anything. I'm sorry. It's we're taking it nice and easy, smooth.
Yeah, well, so kind of as we predicted a little bit, it is continuing to struggle, but Durazio just doesn't have the pace to fend him off too much. Burke is actually now chomping at the bit a little bit. He was held up a smidge, but oh
See if
wow,
Chris
yeah,
makes the move here. Maybe
he's gonna have to
he
be
thinks better, but
really
he lifts a little
careful.
bit. He lifts a little bit. He thinks better.
So
Yeah,
now
that BMW wants to
Stevenson,
go.
is in the unenviable position of having to make a decision when he's at an aero disadvantage, but also is being hounded by the Ferrari of Burke behind. Burke is, oh no, ooh, gets a little squirrely on corner exit there, collects it, and actually doesn't end up losing much time. So I wonder if Durazio had a bad run as well.
He gets a little squirrely coming out of that one as well, and now he's at a
And they're
disadvantage here.
Burke side by side.
Makes me wonder, maybe he's just been pushing a little. Ooh, Burke is up underneath him, bro.
Yeah.
He was having a sniff. He goes, "What'd you eat for dinner last night?" McDonald's, cheeseburgers, Big Mac. That's a Biodome reference. That's a deep cut. We're
I
going
don't
Pauly
even,
Shore
I have never even seen
1990s.
Biodome,
That's
so
a deep cut.
you
Okay,
got you got me there.
cut so deep, better send him to the emergency room. Let me tell you right now.
Oh wow, Stevenson getting real up in Durazio's business. I want to say his grill, but the grill's on the other side. Diving up the
Oh, he's thinking
inside.
about it. Thinking about it. He's got 6 minutes to get this done. He has no chance of catching the car ahead. He
I
just
mean,
needs to
if
make the most of these 6
trying
minutes.
to put myself in Stevenson's shoes, I'd be much more worried about Burke than I would be about Durazio. I'd almost be being defensive in this situation,
Burke, if
especially
he was
given
any
where that
closer
Ferrari
to
is
that
strong.
BMW right there, we'd be going down to the sheriff's office and filing an assault complaint. That was ridiculous. He got a good whiff. Huffing. Now, that is Nelson in the back there. This little gaggle of cars is letting Nelson catch up, so maybe a little bit of a pride for Stevenson if Burke starts battling with Nelson. So now, Stevenson has to be thinking, all right, Nelson, do me a solid. Come here, fight Burke. Maybe I'll make a move, and that'll open the door for you to make the move on Burke. We can have a little play, chess.
Then we
Maybe
could,
checkers. I was never good at chess.
if
Only
it's
900
not,
rated.
well, it's not impossible that we could see the turns tabled a little bit. That now, if Stevenson's able to get by Durazio because of pressure that Nelson puts, we could see an exact replica. Ooh, Durazio gets a bad
Stevenson.
launch, but so does, oh wow, Burke, it
Whoa,
gets
and
really
Burke gets
sideways, and
squirrely.
Stevenson's
Stevenson,
alongside Durazio.
yeah, he's got a nice pull here now that he's in the
Huge
clean
run.
air. And he
Doesn't able to close the door quite yet,
almost
and the next
closes
turn's a
it.
right-hander.
There we go. Good lad. Excellent move, though, to make that stick on the outside. Now, I'm pretty sure he's done that before in his Miata that he's raced here.
It's
He knows all
definitely a
the ins, the
possibility.
outs, the bumps. He knows all about it. Believe it or not, his Miata is hooked up around here with so much downforce that he's running a 35 in the Miata.
Wow. We
I think
just had a
that's what he said.
car
It was either 35
off,
or a 40. Do we know who that
and
is?
it was Kenny, I believe. It was an Audi. I think it was Kenny. I think it was green, not yellow. Anyway, back to Stevenson. And now we see
Say,
David
Hicks.
Nelson playing the role. So
Eh?
Nelson is caught back up to his qualifying position of 8th. That is a pretty good effort considering how far he was back at the beginning.
Yeah, and we can see what you said before. You've got a keen eye. Stevenson's just bad through the chicane, and that Ferrari eats him up.
Yeah.
Delicious. Having some fava beans going into that chicane.
But now we're kind of seeing a repeat. It's almost like Nelson just took Stevenson's place. He's getting badgered by Burke and finding difficulty in getting around Durazio a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like it. I gotta say, these are gorgeous machines. Can't help but love the look of the Lamborghini there, intermingled.
I'm particularly a fan of the M6. I just think it's a really clean design. It's huge. Like their choice to enter it in a GT challenge was probably a really
Oh,
good
he
one
gets
from a.
loose, and he
Oh wow.
slams the door. And now
That.
Burke looks because Nelson had to check up a bit.
Why are we still watching Stevenson? He's out of here. Let's watch Nelson. There we go.
Nelson's in the middle of a Ferrari sandwich. What do you think they got on that? A little bit of pastrami, maybe some provolone. I don't know.
Yeah.
What are the good Italian meats? Gabagool?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it might be a little bit of I think we might have some horseradish in there.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Little horseradish, maybe some bologna.
Yep. Yep.
Bologna, you know what I mean? You know?
Yeah, I don't know.
You know, I'm watching this here, and all I can think is that this is going to end very badly for somebody.
As they
Now,
get more desperate as the race threatens to end, so they got 2 more laps, I should say.
it
That
should
sounds
be
about right.
noted. It should be noted that with everything that's happened in this race, there's a real chance. In fact, it's probably a signed, sealed, and delivered chance, believe it or not, that Burke gets some type of time penalty for the double rear ending of the car who he's chasing right now. So he might make this move, and he might get it back. And with that, Durazio gets a drive-through penalty.
Oh no.
So now Durazio's doing this big grand push with a minute left, and that drive-through, the automated drive-through for track limits, had he not fought Burke, there's a chance that Burke's time penalty puts him behind him anyways. So he pushed so hard, he fought so hard, and in the end, it
It
didn't
didn't
even
even
matter.
matter. There you go. I got one. See, I can get references.
There we go.
Oh,
And Nelson
Nelson
on the
goes on the
inside
inside of Burke and they
Burke,
both spin.
and they both spin.
That
And
was a nice little ballet there.
yeah, and now Jamie Bayless comes through. Looks like they get through cleanly here. They do. And now you have to wonder, okay, I don't think that's enough time for the drive-through to make a difference for Carlo Durazio. But Chris Stevenson, what happened to him, and why is Carlo Durazio on top of him?
I was just wondering.
The good news is Carlo Durazio has a drive-through. There is no way for Chris Stevenson to finish behind Carlo Durazio. He should be letting Carlo Durazio through right now because there might be some impetus here. I would be letting this guy through. Just saying, you know
I think
what,
that's
he can
probably
have it.
smart. Stevenson just had a hell of an exit of the last turn. He got sideways as a mother. I think
Mother
after that, I'd be
sideways?
shook enough. I'd be like, okay, Durazio, okay, you can have it. And then with that last lap, white flags.
Flags are out. Takes 12 seconds back from Turcotte. It's a signed, sealed, and delivered deal here. They got it on DHL. Chris Stevenson goes wide. What are you doing, Chris? Calm down. This isn't for position. He needs a crew chief in his ear to tell him that. He needs someone there to calm him down. He's got the nerves. Well, let's say he's not a Shaolin monk. Now he lets him through. Maybe he realized time to let him through. It's no big deal. You've got a 4-second gap to the car behind you. You're not going to get past in a 2-second lap, and a minute and a half lap. Back it down. Back it down. You're at a 10. You need to be at a 4. Just let it go.
Yeah.
And Max Simmons, sorry to cut back. Max Simmons is all over Xavier Castaño Muniz. This is for position out of nowhere.
Yeah.
He's looking outside. He's looking inside. He's looking back outside again.
He's desperate.
He's in. He's out. He's groundhogging him. One might say he's even prairie dogging him.
Maybe all of the above. Where did this come from? So
I don't know, but this is I believe this is their final lap here. And this straightaway with this draft, this Rex might have something for him coming out of the chicane.
So there it is right there.
He gets right on him. He gets a really good exit.
Pretty good exit, yeah. The
really
Porsche is one to hook up though too.
Yeah. I don't know if he's got enough in him. Maybe.
He might have run out of steam a little bit.
Yeah.
He isn't able to line it up as quickly as he wants to. Sorry, I punched my mic.
That's okay. It's all right. Chris is just... Oh, no, the way it timed out, Chris has one more lap to go.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, he's got a 2-second gap. Just manage the gap. That's all you have to do. Just manage the gap.
Simmons and Muniz are out. And Hamian is actually caught up to Josh McLaughlin, who goes sliding a little bit, recovers it, closes the door, perhaps a little inadvertently. And that'll probably be it for Josh McLaughlin.
And now the gap between Bayless and Stevenson is it still 2 seconds? No, it's going to be a lot closer now, down to about a second gap, and more. Maybe Stevenson is trying to conserve fuel. Maybe he miscalculated.
Certainly
yeah, I think
possible.
he's conserving fuel here. Under
Oh.
braking, you can see he lifted real gently going into the brake zone there, and Jamie Bayless is right on his tail. And Jamie Bayless throws it up the inside here.
On the inside. Oh, really bold.
Big move.
I don't know if I like that.
Chris is out of fuel.
He's out of gas.
He's out of fuel.
Oh no.
That's what he was lifting for. He's out of fuel.
Oh, he desperately needed to cross the line after the checkered, and he couldn't do
Yeah,
it. That miscalculation ruined it.
out of fuel.
Oh no. I mean,
You have
luckily,
to wonder if maybe he should have been fiddling with his map. Maybe something happened here.
it's maybe. I do wonder. So, in the event that people finish the race, there's no way for like Andy Burke or David Nelson to pass him, even though he hasn't crossed the line yet, and they still still technically could have.
Well, it's if he doesn't cross the line, I think he DNFs.
There's no way he's crossing that line. He still had to go through.
He has to hope that his teammate comes. His teammate is here. Is Max Simmons gonna hook up and pet? No, Max, what are you doing? No, you're his teammate, Max. Push him, Max.
He doesn't realize. Oh no!
No!
Turn around.
Max, he would get DQ'd. Oh my God! I thought for a second we were gonna see Max give him the finger salute all the way across.
What's his? Can he go? Can he leave the pits and go back around?
He could. There's a maximum wait time here.
Oh no!
It looks like John Archie is going to try to come back and get him, but please don't drive backwards on the track.
Yeah.
Max, what did you do?
Oh, nope, he's in the pits. He towed. That's it.
He towed. And that's all she wrote, folks.
No.
All right, unfortunate end to this race. That was incredible, but unfortunate.
Oh no. So I mean, he still showed up at 6th place, but I guess when the race is over,
yeah, we'll have to see how that goes. It might have been a lap thing.
It's possible.
All right, I'll let you close it out here.
Absolutely.
We'll catch you on the flip side. Thank you for joining us today on this short field for the Euro finals, I believe, and some other drama. And next week we'll see you back.
Yeah, sounds great. Yeah, thank you for being with us. It's been a great race. I'm just gonna hang around in this for a couple more minutes yet to see if we can get any word on Stevenson. But yeah, thank you. It's been great.
It's been a great week.
As always, have a good one, friend. No, are we just not gonna know? I know sometimes ACC likes to just stick a fork in it and not tell us what happened. Yeah. Can we get a view of the leaderboard, perhaps? I want the closure, man. I want to see what's been. It's showing Stevenson as. We haven't gone into practice yet, so it's showing Stevenson as still in 6th place. My next session. The suspense is killing me. Okay, well, you know, we'll just call that done and stick a fork in it. We are running short on time here. If it happens while I'm doing the outro, then I'll come back and look at it. But because yeah, now it says he's 5th. No, I don't think that's how that works. I think they called the race, so he's possibly just gonna get a DNF. We'll see. Anyhow, it's been great being with you. What a fantastic race. Hopefully we'll have an equally as exciting one next time. This is ESR Eat Sleep Race. We have a website, esr-race.org. We have a Discord. You can join us. We're just a bunch of sim racing enthusiasts and really racing enthusiasts in general. Just willing to meet up in real life, talk about stuff, enjoy the experience that racing can provide. Next race is the Hungaroring, as we said before, July 18th. So next week, no midweek break, or no 1 week break, I should say. If you like what you see, join us. I'm Cole McCray. That was Justin Swan, unfortunately, who had to dip. And we have not seen any result for Stevenson, so we will see. It's possibly DNF'd. We'll be able to inform you all next race with the happenings as always. Anyhow, I've been Cole McCray. You've been the audience. Thank you for joining us. I will see you next time. Join us. Bye bye.